been doing counseling at Clackamas for the last 7 years. It'll be, I guess, 8 years this fall. I started out working specifically with the Latino cohort when I came on board. It was one of my main charges here on campus, aside from traditional counseling or doing counseling with traditional students. Sabbatical is an extended period of time that individuals, typical to higher education, it's other individuals in other professions take sabbaticals as well, but it's a prolonged period of time that somebody in whatever given profession takes away from the job. What I did while I was on sabbatical was travel to Mexico to study a little bit about the culture, the history, and the socio-political status or state of specific regions in Mexico. As you know, and as I described earlier, part of what I do here at the college is work with a contingent of Latino students, and so, and in addition to the classes that I teach, that's my part of my charge here. So it's in my best interest and in the best interest of the college for us to be well aware of why we have the student population that we have, how to nurture it, how to help the students be successful. And I think that that's best achieved by knowing the students. And so that's what I was doing. Some of the things that I learned from individuals on the trips that I made within the country were very impactful. Some of the information that I got from them, or that I was able to share from them with them. But I think that the most impactful situation was not just the trip to Tabasco, but the information that was coming through the media in Mexico with regard to the flooding that occurred in Tabasco last fall. It was really a huge learning experience and very impactful in a lot of different ways. One of the sides of Mexico and most developing nations that we often hear in the United States is the impoverished side, how bad the economies or even the political systems, the political structures in these countries tend to be, which is one part of the aspect of daily life there, but it's not the only one. And so that's why this particular situation was really impactful in my life, in my experience down there. With the rain and the large rivers that cross Tabasco, that feed into the Gulf of Mexico, the flooding was tremendous. The capital city of Villahermosa was 90% underwater at one point during the flood period. And so seeing that in the news, that newscast was I really can't even begin to describe it. It was like seeing New Orleans at a 10-time magnification. The response that people had to the floods was even more incredible. The schools, the firemen, the businesses, banks, industry, everybody that you could imagine began trying to gather money, supplies, everything that you can imagine might be needed in your daily life, so that it could be donated to the people in Tabasco that had suffered during the flood, which was a huge number of the population. And it's a tropical state, so the flora and fauna are very particular to tropical regions, and there were a lot of crocodiles in the area, right? So I'm walking downtown Villahermosa and crossing a bridge, and I look down towards a lake that's in one of the industrial areas of town, and and I thought I saw something moving in the water, and I thought, I wonder, what is that? So I started looking closely and focused, and it was a croc. It was a crocodile swimming in there. And so I started thinking about how all of that fauna must have interacted during the flood. Where were they? They weren't staying put, I don't gather. So that made it very vivid for me. Aside from the fact that there were hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of people that were gathering in the capital city, from the capital city itself, and from smaller towns within the region that were coming to get subsidies, government subsidies, or some of the supplies that were being donated from throughout the country. So seeing the lines of people, hundreds long, trying to get something to eat, or a little bit of money to pay for their daily expenses, utilities, rent, whatever it may have been, was another huge impact. It was something else. That experience, the flood experience, was something else.